Good morning. Always nice to begin the day with you here on 3+U. Thursday, one of my favorite days of the week because the weekend is right ahead and we can all be excited for that. So we are excited to kick the show off this morning with not something you can do this weekend, but mark your calendar for August 19th and head down to Miller Park because Charlie Newton is back on the show and he has brought with him two budding young artists, Jerome and Isla Bryant. They're gearing up for the Splash Arts Festival on August 19th. So good to see you all three.
Thank you for having us.
So Isla and Jerome might look young. Isla is 9, Jerome is 10, but they are already commissioned working artists in town selling their artwork. Is that right,
Yes, for sure.
Charlie?
They have been in several exhibitions. Matter of fact, when they first came to me, I think Isla was 6 and Jerome was 8. And I met them at East Chattanooga Community Center. And I saw their work. And they were too young for the class because we had much older kids in the class, but I brought them in just to see how they would fare. And they were able to focus for 2 hours at 6 and 8 years old.
Wow.
And so they've been evolving and growing ever since.
So we don't want to put them on the hot seat. As our conversation continues, we'll kind of bring them into the conversation a little bit. But
Okay.
I'll start by bragging on the two of you because you brought some of your artwork with you today at the festival on August 19th. They and other artists, some of them members of Splash,
Yes.
will be able to sell their artwork, right?
For sure, for sure. Splash alone would have over 30 or 40 pieces of artwork. We're going to, the Hunter Museum is going to have a booth there, the Creative Discovery Museum, several artists from around the city. We're going to have performances on stage all day long, including Chattanooga Boys Choir,
Oh, nice.
D. Williams Dance Company, Trez, Rick Rushing, a lot of people know him.
Love Rick Rushing.
And Paul Childers, a virtuoso on the guitar.
So, you know, we are called the Scenic City in Chattanooga,
Yes,
and we
yes.
are definitely scenic because of the surrounding beauty of the
Sure.
mountains. But we've made the city itself scenic with all of the art. I don't even know if the two of you
Yes.
realize this, but Chattanooga is pretty lucky that we have such an arts-supportive community. So y'all have had a chance, Isla, is that right? Charlie mentioned it, to go to some other festivals, Four Bridges, for example, and
Yes.
people are buying your work. What does that make you feel like when they come and say, ooh, I love this?
It makes me so happy.
Yeah? Your artwork is happy. This one that we're seeing here, that's yours, right, Isla?
Yeah.
So do you enjoy color? You seem to. Like, do you like using a lot of vibrant colors in your artwork?
Yes.
Or does it depend on the mood you're in? You're thinking. Like if you're
Isla sort of, she goes into a trance when she paints, and
Really?
and she sings to herself. So art is very inward. It's an inward thing. It's not outward. So
Right.
they turn in, and we know she's humming and singing to herself, and she's just painting
Isn't
away.
that interesting?
Very right brain. It's very right brain
so
activity.
You began Splash
Yes.
for this very reason.
Yes.
You wanted to let kids grow.
I was looking for myself. I was looking for kids like me who might not have the opportunity to be creative. They might not be very extrovert. They might be introverted. Because to make art, to paint, you have to turn inward. And so it's automatic. So, and
But you
they're
know,
doing amazing work.
Okay, so I want to talk about your piece that you brought today, Jerome, because you have used a different medium, it looks like. Is that acrylic that you've used, or what is this? Do you know?
Oil paint.
It's oil paint. So yours looks to me like a space scene. Is that what you intend it to be? Or can it be whatever you want it to be?
It could be whatever I want it to be.
Do you remember on the day you painted this what you wanted it to be? Like, do you see certain emotions in your art? When you look at it, what do you see?
Happy. Frustrated.
Now that's interesting to me that you would say you see happy, but then you also see frustrated. So is that because it was really difficult to create what you wanted to create and that made it frustrating?
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, so if y'all sit down with a blank piece of paper or a blank canvas, do you know ahead of time what you want to create, or do you just begin to kind of make some strokes and the brush takes you somewhere?
The brush takes me somewhere.
Really?
Yes.
So sometimes when it finishes, when you're finished with a piece, are you kind of surprised at the way it turned out?
Yes.
But you're proud of it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I've heard some people say too, artists, that they don't always like to share what they've done because they feel like they're never quite finished with it.
And that, hey, that describes Jerome perfectly.
Yeah?
Yes.
You know, it was really interesting. Y'all couldn't see this, but so their paintings that they brought are over on the side. They were too big for us to fit up here. So when I asked Jerome, when his painting got on the screen that he could see it, and I said, "What is it that you see?" His face lit up. Your painting brings you joy too.
Yes.
Yeah. How often do y'all paint, Isla? Are you painting every day?
Every Saturday.
With Charlie? But at home, do you paint?
No. No. We
No.
don't have paintbrushes.
You don't have paintbrushes at home, so you wait until you get to see Charlie.
Yes.
So I've also heard artists say that you have to be an observer to be a good artist. Is that fair to say, Charlie?
Well,
Or do you just have to be a feeler?
I would go with feeler. I would go with feeler. So speaking about Jerome's art, what fascinates us adult artists is the layers of thought. So the canvas may go through several layers of changes. With Isla, she reminds us of Hans Hofmann, who was a very famous abstract expressionist artist. So her beautiful colors just come out, you know. So it's her. They just have talent, you know, that comes out.
There's also, I knew a man growing up in our church who was an artist, and he would go through after the church service and he would get the bulletins because
Okay.
all the kids had scribbled on them.
I did.
And they'll doodle in church. And he would say, though, that when you're a child, there's a unique way you can draw and express when you're a child that you
Yes.
lose at some point.
It's true. It's honest. It's honesty. So I want to be like them. So the last 50 years, I've been trying to become a child again. So
Yeah.
my art could be honest, more realistic and honest.
So it makes sense then to
Yes.
think about why their art is so sought after when they're at these festivals, because it's not something you see all the time.
That's correct.
Do you realize how talented you are?
Yes.
High five me. Oh, no, that wasn't a good one. Because confidence is the key to success. So
Yeah.
remember the names, Jerome and Isla Bryant. You can come and buy a piece of their art, and many other artists will be represented too.
Can I mention some of our sponsors?
You sure
Do I
can.
have time? Chick-fil-A, Greater Brain Dental, Benwood Foundation, First Horizon Bank, Tennessee Valley Federal Credit Union, Sunuvas Bank, SRR and Associates Greens, Chambers, Bonner and Stofeld, LDG Development, Platinum Storage Rise, and River City Company all believe in what we do.
And here's what you can do if you believe in what they do. Go to splashyoutheartsworkshop.org
Yes.
and you can sign your children, grandchildren, next door neighbor, whomever up,
Yes.
and they too can be part of those Saturday
Yes,
classes.
but come to the festival because that's our only fundraiser.
Okay, 10 to 3, Miller Park, be there or be square, August 19th. Thank you both, all
Thank
three.
you.
I was on I-75 South at the I-24 split when a tractor trailer plowed into me, forced me into the guardrail, and then hit me again.